You hear a metal tray slide open behind you, a clean metallic glide that cuts through the low, constant hum of refrigeration units set to 2 degrees Celsius. And you don't turn immediately, because procedure says you finish the log first. But you are certain you didn't touch it, and certainty is the only thing this place allows you to keep. So you write the time, 2:17, next to a tag number that already feels interchangeable. And this is how it began for you, 3 years ago, when you took the job because no one else would. When the posting stayed up for 47 days without applicants. When the supervisor told you the work was quiet, controlled, predictable, and you signed without negotiation because the salary cleared your debts down to the last 12,600. And the rules were simple then. No questions, no witnesses, no deviation, just cold steel tables, fluorescent lights that never fully stop flickering, and the routine. Tag bodies, log temperatures, confirm identity markers. Avoid looking at faces longer than necessary, because familiarity creates hesitation, and hesitation creates error reports. And error reports get reviewed every quarter by people who have never stepped inside this building. And over time, you moved up without ceremony. From intake to night shift lead, a title that came with a 6% raise and access to level B storage, where the older units hum louder, and the logs are still partially handwritten. And with each step, the work shifted slightly. Less physical, more procedural. Approving entries, correcting discrepancies, learning how to adjust numbers without triggering alerts. Because sometimes the intake count doesn't match the release forms, and the system doesn't tolerate gaps. So you learn to close them, not out of malice, but necessity. Because the system values continuity over accuracy, and this becomes the unspoken rule. Nothing unusual gets recorded, because unusual things create audits, and audits create shutdowns. And shutdowns cost more than errors. So you comply creatively, precisely, until the numbers align and the reports pass. And outside of this building, your life narrows without announcement. Calls unanswered, messages delayed, conversations shortened because you begin measuring time in shifts instead of days, and temperature logs instead of memories. And people stop asking what you do because your answers become too exact, too clinical. And eventually they stop asking anything at all, and isolation settles in without resistance. Because silence here is structured, predictable, easier than the unstructured noise of everything else. And tonight follows the same pattern until it doesn't. Until the tray slides open behind you and you turn and see drawer 14, extended by exactly 32 centimeters, empty when you logged it as occupied at 21:43. And the tag number still sits in your book, unchanged. And the system shows no transfer, no release, no correction. And this is where the routine fractures, quietly. Because there is no protocol for absence without record, and you check the cameras. But the feed loops every 18 seconds like it always does. A limitation you once noted and then learned to ignore. And the silence deepens, pressing harder than before until you hear it. A faint dragging sound from the storage corridor, irregular, slow, not mechanical. And you follow it because there is no alternative that fits inside the rules. Each step measured, controlled. The temperature dropping another degree as you move deeper, and every rational explanation begins to collapse under its own weight. Equipment failure, clerical error, unauthorized access. None of them account for the sound, continuing, steady, deliberate, until you reach the far row and see drawer 14 already open at the end of the corridor where it should not be, and you stop. Because this is the point where procedure ends and something else begins. And you reach forward anyway, not out of curiosity, but obligation. Because your role has conditioned you to complete the sequence regardless of outcome. And in that moment you understand with a clarity that feels mechanical, that the system was never built to capture everything, only to maintain itself. What doesn't fit is not corrected, not investigated, just excluded. And the realization settles without panic. Just a quiet shift, an internal adjustment like recalibrating a scale. And by the time you return to your desk, the tray is closed again. The corridor is silent, and the logbook remains open at 2:17, waiting. And you write nothing, because there is nothing you are allowed to write. And when your shift ends at 6 o'clock, the handover is brief, procedural, your replacement signs in without looking up, and you leave the building, as you always do, through the same door, under the same light, knowing that tomorrow the records will show nothing unusual, the counts will align, the temperatures will hold, the system will continue without interruption, and you will either return and take your place inside it again,